Hello and welcome to the show. I have got a Plymouth Hemi Cuda for today's rally car build. Not exactly the first vehicle you would think of when it comes to making a rally car. However, classic muscle cars, in the previous series I did of this on Horizon 2, classic muscle cars could actually do rather well. And seeing as one hasn't gone in this series yet, what better place to start than with the Plymouth? I'm not quite sure with this vehicle. It could end up doing very, very well. It could be quite uncontrollable. Certainly it is going to have a lot of power. There is no doubt about that. We are going to start off, though, by putting on the handling parts that we want. So the rally tyres, we'll go for as big a tyres as we can get. 345s on the rear. I think it's 275s on the front. So plenty of tyre width on this vehicle. We will, of course, be wanting race brakes. We will want rally suspension. Weight reduction will also be a fairly big thing. This is not the lightest of muscle cars. That much is for sure. Right, so put the weight reduction on. We're down to 3,200 pounds. I mean, it's still... I say it's a little bit on the heavier side, although heavier vehicles have been faring quite well in this series. So... there we go. We are also going to be probably not going to be needing that looking at the PI. We're also going to be making the car all-wheel drive, as is the rules of this series. Everything has to be all-wheel drive. We will also be doing this lot, the drive train bits and pieces. We want an upgraded gearbox, and we will want all of these bits in here. And we're going to want aero parts on the vehicle as well. That can go on there. We can have a mighty beard, and we can have an air dam at the back. Now I could put the supercharger sticking out of the bonnet. In fact, actually, the supercharger sticking out of the bonnet is £1 lighter. If we need to make up a PI, I'll come back to that. So there we go. That's kind of the handling bits done. Now it is on to the engines. There are three options for engines here. The 6.2 litre V8, the 8.4 litre V10, and the 6.5 litre V12 do all go in this car. As I said, I would like to keep the standard engine with vehicles if I can. Now that might be pushing it a little bit with the Hemi Cuda here, while it has got up into S1 class quite easily without me touching any of the engine parts, as we have seen in the past. S1 class is quite a big band in terms of upgrades, so this may well not quite be able to do it with the standard engine. We'll see. I'm going to stick the parts on and we'll see what we do get out of the standard engine. I mean, it's plenty powerful, the standard engine in this car. Whether it's quite going to be enough, well, intercooler, I hope you give me... it's not going to be enough in the Hemi Cuda. It's very, very close, but we're not going to be using its standard engine, so that means we are going to have to make a choice. 6.2 litre V8, 8.4 V10, or do we go for the 6.5 V12? I think we're going to go for the V10, for the Viper engine. Now this goes in lots of cars. We'll see it many times. This goes in not as many. So I think we're going to go with the V10. Oh, bloody hell, what option do we go for here? Do we twin turbo? I mean, I guess we could keep it standard, naturally aspirated, but I think we're going to go for twin turbos on this one. Now, we shouldn't need too much in the way of parts in here. We will go for exhaust for some nice weight saving. Race intake as well for that little bit more in terms of weight saving. Not going to be a massive amount. Now, this will become our most powerful car in this series. It's 825 horsepower. That is a lot of power going on in here. We will go back and have a look just in case we can. Admittedly, I say just in case we can put the lighter bonnet on. We can do, although we have a turbocharged engine rather than a supercharged engine, so it does look a little bit. Maybe we'll go with that. Again, I want to save the weight from this, so seeing as it doesn't cost me any PI, we will 81,000 credits for our Plymouth. As I said, most powerful car that's gone in this series. Will it have the control, though? That is the big and quite scary question. So it is off to the reservoir trail with the Hemi Cuda. It'll get 3 runs through the course in an attempt to go faster than the Subaru SVX. Our current leader at 2:36.0 is the time to beat, and I'm not cycling through the cameras very well. There we go, back where we want to be. Yeah, 2:36 is the time to beat. There is a lot of speed into this opening corner, as you would expect, really, from the Hemi Cuda when you have this much power. No, it is not quite as nice and composed through these turns as the Lotus. Not actually that far off, mind. It's really not bad through these corners. There is a fair bit of understeer going on through that transition on to the dirt, and yeah, I don't quite know how we are going to fare out here. On the whole, it is actually so far been quite nice and planted, which is perhaps a odd thing to be saying about a very, very powerful muscle car, although admittedly the all-wheel drive will be helping some. Didn't help the little Lotus out last time, mind. Now we are going to dive down through here again, try and carry that speed. It will do. I couldn't decide what gear I wanted to be in. 5th gear apparently is the one. Big jump through the air. Visibility not great inside the Hemi Cuda, but equally not the worst, although I can't carry that much speed through there. We've got lost through the trees we go. Alright, I'm getting a little bit too brave. How do we do? Pretty good through the water, actually. That held steady about 110 miles an hour, so we don't have problems cutting through the water, which is nice. Now try and maintain some more speed up this hill. Get the car landed and then turned through this next corner. This is perhaps one of the easiest cars I've had to drive. It is the most, as I said, the most powerful, most torque and so on. However, it is much nicer and planteder than quite a few vehicles have been, and I can get away with running a bit of a tighter line, going through the water more in this. It doesn't have an issue with carving its way through the water, although that bit there won't be fun. Oh no, not that bump down there. Ran a little too wide and got in trouble. Now, the big jumps, easy to get caught out by them, and indeed we were having some issues over there. Not a particularly clean first run from the Hemi Cuda. We got into little bits of trouble here and there. However, it does feel like a rather quick car indeed, as we're going to run up towards the line and finish. I just realised I had all my HUD turned off, which probably wasn't particularly helpful in terms of looking at speed. Yeah, okay, 2:42 on an opening run. There's definitely, I mean, that included me getting lost, definitely plenty of time to be found with this car. Okay, second run for the Hemi Cuda. Well, it has already successfully beaten the Audi Quattro, even with a slight exploration through the jungle. I think this is looking quite promising in terms of time. Whether it's quite going to be enough to get up with the Subaru and the Ute, I do not know. We are, yes, definitely not carrying anywhere near as much speed through these opening corners as the Lotus. There is absolutely no surprise in that. Ooh, we don't get stopped very nicely either. We've got... It is a bit of a heavier car, so considering it is going to be accelerating very, very quickly up towards that point, we've got a big smack on the railing as well. Things not quite gone so well at the start of this run. I think I'm just trying to push it that little bit too hard as it bounces its way around this next corner. Alright, another big jump from the Hemi. We can throw it down this section. This section is really nice when things are going well, and they are with the Cuda, and across the biggest jump of all. Flying quite nicely over there. We do get a little bit uncomfortable on the landing. I had a big slowdown this time out so that we can get smoother out this other side, and that has worked out very, very nicely for the Plymouth jump into the water. Yeah, solid 110 miles an hour through there, so only 1 mile an hour off the ultimate limit of vehicles driving through the water, so That is good going for the Hemi Cuda here. We're now trying to make the most of all of the power and all of the torque that we have in this car for climbing up these hills is going to be very useful indeed. Now, around these next couple of fast corners, another bit of airtime for the Plymouth. Now we have to decide what we're going to do through this puddle. Now we can, yeah, it can hold it at 110 miles an hour. It doesn't quite push through as well as I was hoping, although, whoa, big kick of oversteer. Not what I was actually expecting from this car, particularly. Now, straight line down here. Much better indeed from the Plymouth. Here we go, across towards the big jump now. First of the jumps, nicely landed. Second of the jumps, not nicely taken off, but we have somehow got away with all of it in the Hemi as we round the final. I probably shouldn't really be calling it Hemi, seeing we've now got a Viper V10 in it around the final corner. It's going to go faster. We have a new record holder. The Plymouth goes half a second quicker than the Subaru SVX, and that was on its second run. Actually, with a couple of running wides early on in the run. Things did go quick later on, though. Ooh, I'm pleased with that. I'm pleased with that indeed. Are we going to... There we go. I'm not sure. We might level up, so we're just hanging around just in case. I've got the wheel spin. Got some money nicely off of that. 1,000 away. Right, next time out, we may go even faster and hopefully level up. So this is it, the final run for the Plymouth. Already the record holder down this course. Now, can I push that time out even further? It's a pretty damn solid rally car, in all honesty. It's is very, very nice and composed through the corners. Yeah, it is a little bit on the heavier side, and you do feel it at times on the brakes. However, with such a huge amount of power, huge amount of torque, it makes up in acceleration zones wherever it can. There's plenty of traction around these dirt corners. So yeah, the Hemi Cuda is a really, really rather good vehicle. We were on the lip of the bridge. I'm playing it so dangerous on that bridge. I've clouted it a couple of times, haven't actually fallen over it yet. I have no doubt something will, back end, let go a tad across there. Have managed to catch it, have got away with it at this stage. Flat out through there is fantastic, and again flat out through the next corner and up towards the jump. Lovely flight across that jump, no problems from the Hemi Cuda. Right, change direction down here. Out towards the trees. You try and push the vehicle as much as I dare. Now we jump into the water. Actually got 111 miles an hour through there that time around. Obviously got a little bit better of a landing with this vehicle. Now again we're going into these fast corners, and you can take the speed in this car. Even we landed and slid pretty much perfectly towards the checkpoint. That is always nice when we can get as good a landing as that. Oh, stop flying wonky. That's not what we really want you to be doing, car. Now, last time I tried cutting in through the water a little bit earlier, I don't really know. Still very undecided. That was a little bit further out, but it seemed to work out quite nicely. Now, we've got to stick quite close to cutting back. Clip the water. I want to get back to the inside quickly to avoid the worst of the bumps, but... yeah, the water is quite inconveniently positioned there. We are going to be in all sorts of trouble, I think. We're again flying quite back down through that section, and I think I might have overrun it a little bit into the second to last corner. Can we get any more speed out of it as we round that final turn? Oh, it's going to be a mighty run. That was a lot of speed. That was a hell of a lot of speed on that final run. 232.7. from the Plymouth. That's not quite, yeah, I wasn't expecting to go that fast. That's really, like, up until this car, things had been kind of clipping about 3 seconds between the first 5 vehicles to go in this series, and now I've got almost 3 seconds faster than the SVX with the Hemi Cuda. It's got just about everything for this. It has the power and the torque for the acceleration out of the corner, acceleration up the hills, but it's still got the handling. It's still carrying the corner speed, and yeah, pretty good across the jumps. That's a mighty time. I don't know where I found quite all of that. The Plymouth goes to the top of the table by an absolute mile ahead of the Subaru SVX. The Ute is pushed down into third place. I mean, we are talking 13 seconds faster than the Audi Quattro down this course. So that is a hell of a run from the Hemi Cuda. Well, I thought it would be quick. Not quite the outcome I was expecting, though, in all of that. We are going to level up. Can we get something? No, apparently not from the wheel spin, because we have... oh, that's disappointing. Okay, well, we'll go back here. While we're in a loading screen, I've been meaning to do this for about the last 2 weeks of building stuff with these builds, so that my garage doesn't get filled up with a selection of rally cars at Extreme Rallycross. I am going to auction off at the end of each of these videos. When this video goes up onto YouTube, I'm going to put each of the cars that I've used on the auction house for a 24-hour auction, so you guys can bid on them and own the various vehicles that I have created in this series. Some of the early ones might be going up along with this Plymouth. I pressed the button and it didn't do anything. So yeah, I am going to be auctioning the cars up. I keep meaning to do it and completely forgot up until this this video. So there we go. We're going to do a wheel spin for this. We're going to get an Audi TT. That's not too bad. I don't mind the newer TTs. At least it's something half interesting. Yeah. There we go. That is going to be it for this video, guys. A new leader for the rally car builds. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.